Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirait. Ashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Mama Gnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nanyam Tata. Yeah, 4, Canto 4, Chapter 8, verse 23. Nanyam Tata Padma Palashalochana Dukkachidam Te Mrigayami Kanchana Yo Mrigyate Hastagrihita Padmaya Shriyetarair Anga Vimrigyamanaya. My dear Dhruva, as far as I am concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus petals. Many demigods, such as Lord Brahma, seek the pleasure of the goddess of fortune, but the goddess of fortune herself, with a lotus flower in her hand, is always ready to render service to the Supreme Power. Suniti pointed out here that the benediction received from the Supreme Person of Godhead and that received from the demigods are not on an equal level. Foolish persons say that no matter whom one worships, one will get the same result. But factually, that is not a fact. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that benedictions received from the demigods are all temporary and are meant for the less intelligent. In other words, because the demigods are all materialistically conditioned souls, although they are situated in very exalted positions, their benedictions cannot be permanent. Permanent benediction is spiritual benediction. Since a spiritual is eternal, it's also said in Bhagavad Gita that only persons who will have lost their intelligence go to worship the demigods. Therefore, Suniti told her son that he should not seek the mercy of the demigods, but should directly approach the Supreme Person of Godhead to mitigate his misery. So twice Prabhupada is saying here is saying less intelligent, lost their intelligence, worship demigods. Actually, it's unfortunate. Many devotees I've seen they still worship demigods even after being in Krishna consciousness for a long time, even after being initiated for whatever reasons. It's very unfortunate. Because it's very clear that we should not be worshipping the demigod, and we've discussed this in Bhagavad Gita sessions. Worshipping demigods and Supreme Personality of Godhead in the same altar is actually very, I mean, we are putting demigods in a very bad situation by worshipping them with their superiors, which normally is not appreciated. So, first is those who worship demigods have lost their intelligence. Second, worshipping both of them together is even worse. And even though the demigods are materialistically conditioned souls mean they took up those exalted positions because they desired those positions. But still they're exalted. They're more exalted than us. Of course, demigods come to offer prayers, worship to a pure devotee. But of course, we have not reached that state. So we need to, of course, respect every jiva. We need to respect demigods also. Even a pure devotee respects all jivas. He will respect demigods also. But the demigods will worship the pure devotees. So that is the position of the demigods as compared to pure devotees. But as far as we are concerned, we should be respecting demigods but not worshipping them. So Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita talks about Bhaj and puja. It says worship means bhajan. Worship should be only for the Supreme Lord. Puja can be for anybody. Puja means just adoration, you need some special attention. That's all. So Suniti is clearly telling, don't go to the demigods, go directly to Supreme Lord to mitigate your misery. So even Bhagavatam says, Akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udaratihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Mm. Akama, akama, no desire. Sarvakamo va, all desires. Or moksha kama, you have desire for liberation. Udaradihi, udaradihi means broad-minded. Those who go to the demigods are narrow-minded. Very broad-minded jivas. What do they do? Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Param purusha yajeta. They will worship the parama purusha. How? Tivrena. Tivrena means single-pointed focus. Tivrena means with intensity. There are many times Prabhupada explained this differently. This verse, Tivrena. So it's intense, it's single-pointed. And our acharyas go to the extent of saying this single pointed actually only means focusing on Radha Krishna, not even Narayana Lakshmi, Rama Sita. Because it depends on our goal. It depends, of course, on our constitutional position, but that also will reflect in terms of our desire to worship a particular form. We're more attracted by a particular form as compared to other forms of the Supreme Lord. But that Tivra means single pointed, very intense attachment to a form of the Lord. And Prabhupada always, even our acharyas in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya are more single pointed about Radha Krishna, not even just Krishna, or not even just Radha. Today somebody was asking, I don't know if how many of you are aware, but there are other sampradayas which all are apasampradayas. Mm. Some people want to go to only Radha. They don't want to come to Krishna. And it's not approved by our acharyas. Our acharyas are very clearly saying, Ekeha Tivrena Radha Krishna worship. Not even Bal Gopal or any other forms. So that is our Tivra Bhakti. That is our Tivra Bhakti. So it's always safe to just stick to photo worship of Radha Krishna for sufficient time. Sufficient time. And because if we prematurely start worshipping any deities without having clear idea of what our attachment, who our attachment is for, then it becomes we put ourselves in some kind of difficulty. So it's safe to remain focus on Bhagavata Dharma, which is Shravanam Kirtanam, worship photos. By Shravanam, repeated Shravanam Kirtanam, you will start getting attached to a particular form. And once that becomes fixed, then yeah, based on the permission of uh, your guru, you can then decide to worship those deities at home. Of course, Prabhupada also said if you are very close to the temple, then you should not be having your own deities at home. You should serve the temple because deities are there at the temple, and deity worship in the temple is not small job. Gorgeous, beautiful worship like we do. I'm very proud of our temple. Uh, very beautiful, very nicely. The lordships are taken care, they're dressed and decorated and all that. And that requires a lot of effort. And now, if all devotees staying nearby or whatever, if they are engaged in their own deity worship, they can't give focus, they can't give time. Because worship at home doesn't mean that we just become careless about our deities at home. Because that will result in seva aparad, which will result in nama aparad, which will result again in lack of progress, thus not being able to do proper progress. So it's very important that if we have deities at home, then we have to be very serious about that worship. Better so than doing that, you know, focus our time in temple, if they're temple deities. And more importantly for us, actually, we have to focus on Shavanam Kirtanam. See, that attachment to a particular form of the Lord will only happen from Shavanam, based on Shavanam. So Shavanam is very, very, very important. Material opulences are controlled by the Supreme Person of Godhead through his different potencies, and specifically the goddess of fortune. Therefore, those who are after material opulences seek the pleasure or mercy of the goddess of fortune. Even the highly placed demigods worship the goddess of fortune. But the goddess of fortune, Mahalakshmi herself, is always seeking the pleasure of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Anyone, therefore, who takes to the worship of the Supreme Lord automatically receives blessings of the goddess of fortune. That's why Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita says, anybody who's making spiritual progress will also make material progress. Real spiritual progress. Real spiritual progress means naturally Gnana and Vairagya will develop. So we will develop detachment towards material things. One develops detachment towards material things, material situation also improves. Because Krishna's all energies are there, ready to serve pure devotees. So as we become pure devotees without any desire except pleasure of Krishna, all his energies are. Bilva Mangal Thakur says like mukti. Everybody is standing on the near the door of the devotee, house of the devotee. Please engage me in your service. Yeah, so material opulence, like we saw Sudama, just nothing, simply one moment. He got made. So material opulence is not like a big deal at all. Somehow devotees don't understand this and they're very, very eagerly running behind material advancement. Many devotees ask me, Prabhu, should we focus on our career or what should we do? I said, work as is required and focus on Krishna. That should be our goal. Work as is required. Yeah, I mean, you have a job, you have whatever 8 hours, 10 hours that you have to put in, do. And in that always we should keep thinking of anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam. If our work is too stressful, Bhagavatam says, if the vritti dharma, savaipumsam paro dharmo yatho bhaktir adhokshade, like, oh no, another one. Says that if it doesn't develop, if through your vritti you can't develop desire or desire for hearing or attachment to hearing, then that vritti is waste, it's a distraction. Then you should give it up and take up something else which is going to give you sufficient time. I mean, not like too much time. Maybe Kali Yuga is different to get. If somebody says, no, I want to work only 6 or 8 hours, it might be tough. Okay, maybe 9 hours, 10 hours, but we should be able to do at least chanting. We should be able to do at least half an hour reading every day. And Saturday, Sunday should be free for preaching activities. And also maybe, so, one session for in reading, more reading, like maybe one day in a week, we will sit and read for 2, 3 hours like that. This is ideal. So no need to focus on career. No need to focus on career. What does focus on career mean? I mean, whatever is destined, we are going to get. What are we going to achieve additionally by focusing on our career? So we have to focus on Krishna and then do our duties sincerely. And then Krishna will take care. Krishna is saying, Prabhupada is saying, automatically receives blessing. So why are we working for money? So Lakshmi Devi will give. That's not a big deal. At this stage of his life, Dhruva Maharaj was seeking material opulences, and his mother advised rightly that even for material opulences, it is better to worship not the demigod but the Supreme Lord. And we are worshipping the Supreme Lord every day. Every day we are intensely worshipping. With chanting we are worshipping, with reading we are worshipping, with puja, uh, worship at home, altar worship we are worshipping. Honoring prasadam, we are worshipping. Engaging with devotees, we are worshipping. All of this is bhakti, which means worshipping the Supreme Lord. So why should one be worried about seeking material opulences? So it will automatically come. It will automatically come. But it will automatically come only when we become detached to it. Because see, till then, it will be our karma phala. Okay, for some people, they have karma phala such that they can get money. For some people, it might be that they, even after sufficient struggle, they are not able to make much money. But irrespective, whatever karma status is, if we are just dedicated to serving Radha Krishna, then automatically whatever is required in our life will come. We don't have to focus on that. Focus always has to be on Krishna. That is the path for perfection. Although pure devotee does not seek benedictions from the Supreme Lord for material advancement, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita that pious persons go to the Lord even for material benedictions. Yeah, artho arthati jignasu gnani cha bharatarshava. A person who goes to the Supreme Person of Godhead for material gain is gradually purified in association with the Supreme Lord. See, this is the most critical thing in, with respect to worship of Krishna, Supreme Lord. One has to become gradually purified. Now, if we are not getting gradually purified, simply means that we are not actually in association with the Supreme Lord. Because if we are in the association with the Supreme Lord, He is the uh, purest pure. Why would we not become purified? Our problem is we are superficially in association with the Supreme Lord. That is why we don't get purified. Superficially means nama prada. We are actually not chanting, we are not actually in the association of Krishna, because when you take the name of Krishna, we are in the association of Krishna. And we are not reading. So when we do all these, when we are not following the basic program, then this purification takes a long time. And I've told this multiple times, just simply engaging in service without a surrendered, pure attitude is not going to help. Prabhupada in Nectar of Instruction preface, he says, in progress of a devotee in devotional life depends on the attitude of the devotee. So we can't just say, okay, 24 hours I'm engaged in service, so I'm making progress. No, we might not make progress because we might not be in the right mood, right attitude. It will be there, but it will be very, very gradual. But intense means intensely associating with the Supreme Lord. Actually, it is required that, of course, we don't do this in public, but at least sometime, once in a while, we should have tears in our eyes when we are in the service of the Lord, either by chanting and feeling miserable about our fallen condition, or looking at the beautiful form of the Lord, beautiful dress of the Lord, beautiful ornaments of the Lord, etc., etc. And due to happiness, there should be tears. That indicates that okay, some purification is happening. Our attachment to this dead matter is reducing. Thus, he becomes free from all material desires and is elevated to the platform of spiritual life. Unless one is raised to the spiritual platform, it is not possible for him to completely transcend all material contamination. Traigunya Vishayaveda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na sochati kankshati, na kankshati, no desires, no material desires. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate. So this is Brahma Bhuta. So when you come to Brahma Bhuta, then we transcend the modes. Mad bhaktim labhate param. Then we can engage in pure devotional service. Otherwise, no pure devotional service because we are still attached to material desires. We'll go to Krishna and ask, give me this, give me that, give me something else. And that's not pure devotion. When will we stop asking Krishna anything material? When we become somewhat indifferent towards material things. That is the liberated platform. See, please understand one thing. It doesn't mean that we are going to become sannyasis. We are going to do our duties completely detached from all these things. Understanding that these are not the important things in our life. Important thing is Krishna. Unfortunately, this simple truth or philosophy of Krishna consciousness is not understood by many devotees. And that's the reason Prabhupada said these devotees will go to Swarga. Very important. Repeatedly, time and again, Prabhupada makes statement like this. How can we just ignore it? Or how can we just not pay attention to it? Or how can we not take it seriously? Suniti, the mother of Dhruva, was a far-seeing woman, far sight, and therefore she advised her son to worship the Supreme Lord and no one else. Lord is described here in his, yes, Padma Palasha Lochana. Padma Palasha, lotus sight. When a person is fatigued, if he sees the lotus flower, all his fatigue can be immediately reduced to nil. Similarly, when an aggrieved person sees the lotus face of the Supreme Person of God, immediately all his grief is reduced. Susukham kartum abhyayam. Susukham. No, actually gives real happiness. Yesterday in our Ulimau center, we celebrated Radhastami. Uh, anyway, we were having katha for last 2 weeks, so then all devotees came together and did some amazing, uh, beautiful flower rangoli at the entrance. Literally, every person was walking past. They're just turning and seeing what is this? What is happening? Huge, like half of the road was covered with rangoli, flower rangoli. And again, we recreated kunja, devotees recreated kunja in the altar, and then all fully decorated with fruits and flowers and very beautiful. And then yeah, some 70, 80 bhoga offerings and everybody. And we started Gita Sar. So many new people came and they all saw and they were very happy. And of course, our amazing temple prasadam. So immediately, anybody who comes into Krishna conscious environment, immediately all his grief is reduced. They'll forget whatever it may be. They'll forget, and then yeah, as soon as they finish and go out, again, yeah, they see all that. But yeah, this is the beauty of Krishna Bhakti is when we come in touch with Krishna. Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha, Ananda Vigraha. So even we can be in Ananda all the time, but like our problem is this. We are actually not in association with the Supreme Lord. That is our problem. Only briefly we come. Sometimes here and there we come in association with Supreme Lord. Otherwise, we are in the periphery, but we don't actually come in the association. This is due to a lack of intensity in our sadhana, lack of focus. Superficially, we are doing. So when we superficially do, then we can't actually get association. Real, I mean, super fast progress can happen. See, coming to bhakti, yeah, we don't know. But once we come in bhakti, if we simply stick to solid association, stick to solid morning program, then automatically progress will happen. The lotus flower is also an insignia in the hand of Lord Vishnu as well as in the hand of Goddess of Fortune. Worshippers of Goddess of Fortune and Lord Vishnu together are certainly very opulent in all respects, even in material life. Of course, this is one big question that is answered later, saying that why devotees of Krishna are not opulent, but devotees of Vishnu are opulent. Yeah. The Lord is sometimes described as Shiva Virinchi Nutam, which means that Lord Shiva and Brahma also offer their respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Person of God and Narayana. So, yeah, Prabhupada's one more amazing purport. Maitri Uvacha. Evam sanjalpitam mathur akarnyarthagamam vachah sanniyamyatmanatmanam nishchakrama pitupurat. Great sage Maitreya continued. The instruction of Dhruva Maharaj's mother Suniti was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. So beautiful. This is what is expected out of us. Somebody gives Pata Pradarshaka Guru. Suniti is Dhruva Maharaj Pata Pradarshaka Guru. So she showed the path. So then Dhruva, did deliberate consideration, meaning he thought about it intelligently, with intelligence, hmm, and fixed determination. He, he became fixed. Okay, now I'm taking this path. I'm done. I'm not going to get distracted. Come what may, I'm going to put everything behind this. This is the mode in which we have to actually accept Diksha. This is a mode of initiation. First, we have to do deliberate consideration. Okay, in whose lotus feet can I surrender my whole life? Unless that conviction is there, namesake initiation is not going to help. In fact, it results in giving trouble to the Guru. So before anybody gets initiated, which is why I ask everybody, have you heard from your Guru? And if you have heard, you tell me what your Guru is saying, whoever it is. Because, okay, roughly, mota mota, I know what different gurus in ISKCON, what their focus is. May not be fully, but at least to some extent. At least I want to understand if somebody has really heard from the Guru from whom they are aspiring. And if they have not heard, I will say, please go back and hear. Or I'll tell them I can put you in touch with those devotees who are disciples, senior disciples of these gurus in Bangalore. And you first meet them, get their guidance. Then you do whatever is appropriate. But the entrance into this Diksha must be fixed determination and intelligence and proper deliberate consideration. It's not a default setting like they say in software. No, there's no default setting. That, yeah, okay, like I come, I'm so many years in ISKCON, so I get initiated. No. Unless we do this, we cannot achieve success, which is what Dhruva achieved. Dhruva achieved unprecedented success. 6 months, perfection. But all that was because he entered in this mood and he remained in that mood. Even though, see, he got the blessing of a great guru and he didn't have association also, but still because of this, just this quality. And this is what Dhruva means. Dhruva means determination. This is the major thing we need to learn from Dhruva Maharaj's life. Is this determination. Many times we hear so many things and we say, I don't think I can follow. I don't think I can do this. But that's not determination. Actually, we can do it. We just don't want to do it. That's all. It's our lack of willingness, which is the problem. And that's why Shastra calls this Hridaya Daurbalyam, weakness of heart. Actually, it's not lack of determination. Because all of us have done amazing things materially. In our own realm, in our own whatever extent we were given ability, we have done good things, solid things with fixed determination. So it's not like we don't have determination. We don't have the desire to fix our determination on this particular thing. And that is called Hridaya Daurbalyam, lack of weakness of heart. Both the mother and the son were lamenting. Dhruva Maharaj having been insulted by stepmother and his fathers not having taken any step on this issue. But mere lamentation is useless. One should find out the means to mitigate one's lamentation. It's very, very important. We can't always keep saying, oh, no, Prabhu, it's like this only. My life is like this. I can't do this. I can't do this, that. Can't keep lamenting. Such a powerful statement. See, mere lamentation is useless. Do something about it. Do something about it. Try. Go seek guidance. Talk to other devotees. Talk to seniors. Talk to Guru. Have the determination to follow whatever instructions, direction they are giving. Yeah, eventually lamentation, the situation has to get better, it will get better. But our acharyas were not like, just wait. Okay, those who don't lament, they can just wait. They already reached Brahmabhuta, they say it's okay, it doesn't matter. Whenever it has to go, it will go. I'm not going to put any effort. But that's for very exalted devotees. But for most of us, we have to just can't be cribbing. We have to try and figure out something. We have to get into action. Thus, both mother and son decided to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord because that is the only solution to all, to all material problems. I mean, we can't be more explicit. And here, the beauty is this word. We can't ignore this. We can't just say, oh, okay, I come to the Supreme Lord, so all my material problems are gone. No, but we have to take shelter. And what does shelter mean? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. That is shelter. It is indicated in this connection that Dhruva Maharaj left his father's capital city to go to a secluded place to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The instruction of Prahlad Maharaj also that if one is seeking peace of mind, he should free himself from all contamination of family life, not free himself from family life. Of course, he should free himself from family life in Vanaprastha, but he should definitely free himself from all contamination of family life and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by going to the forest. This is Vanaprastha. Going to the forest in Shastra means Vanaprastha. To the Gaudiya Vaishnava, this forest is the forest of Vrinda or Vrindavana. If one takes shelter of Vrindavana under Vrindavaneshwari, Srimati Radharani, certainly all the problems of his life are solved very easily. How do we take shelter of Vrindavaneshwari? How do we take shelter of Vrindavaneshwari? Any thoughts? No? No thoughts? I'm sure all of us have heard so much about. We heard about Radhastami, Radha Katha.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Yeah.
she's the pleasure potency of the Lord. So if it is through her, like the Lord is very.
Yeah. But how do we take shelter of her? That's my question.
If you go through her, like if you offer Krishna lotus directly, he may or may not accept it. But you offer it to Radharani, he will surely. And if
but how do we offer it to Radharani?
Krishna depends on Radharani.
No, but how do we offer it to Radharani?
Today my Guru's quote is there. Ke Krishna depends on Radharani. If she says ke you are good devotee,
correct,
he will accept. Otherwise, he
will
accept.
But how does it happen? How can we reach Radharani?
Devotional service.
How do we reach Radharani? How do we reach Radharani?
Unalloyed devotional service.
Servant of Radharani.
How do we serve Radharani? This is the heart of devotional life. Surrender to Guru. Guru is the representative of Radharani. I mean, this is the top of a first thing that should be there in our mind to reach anybody, any exalted personality. It has to be through Guru. There's no other way. We cannot directly go to Radharani. Of course, Krishna will accept if Radharani says. But when will Radharani say? He also wants recommendation. He's looking at the representatives in the parampara. Saying, hey, आपका recommendation है इस भक्त के लिए? हाँ प्रभुपाद जी के शिष्यों से आया है. Oh, okay, चलो. But recommendation has to go from here. We can't directly go to anybody. We can't go to Krishna. We can't go to Radharani. We can't go to anybody. We are worthless, insignificant souls. We become of any significance only based on our surrender to the parampara, to our Guru. So taking shelter of Vrindavana, Vrindavaneshwari means taking shelter of Guru, and through him first taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then automatically taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means taking shelter of Radha and Krishna. So we should never, that is the reason why Nectar of Devotion, the first thing, Guru Padashraya, first is we have to take shelter of a Guru. And again, I keep repeating this again and again. It's not some, it's not some sentimental thing, or it's not a mechanical thing. Diksha is not a mechanical thing. It's the life-changing event. It's the real birth. It's our real birth. If we take it seriously, then our spiritual life gets perfected. I know so many devotees who don't take what their guru says seriously. It's very, very unfortunate. They take it as an option. Yeah, guru has said this, yeah, but I can't be done, or I won't do it. Very unfortunate, but they're not going to make progress. Very, very unfortunate. Why? Because for some reason this importance is not highlighted at all today. In today's discussions, how many times do we see people highlighting Guru and pushing devotees to surrender, understanding the Guru's Vani, taking up, understanding, taking it seriously. And of course, it's not like we take some 130,000 feet level instruction and then we say, okay, I've surrendered to my Guru. No, Guru will not just have one instruction. Guru will have tens of instructions. Everything should be taken. Everything should be followed. That is surrender. So it's very, very important. And Prabhupada is clearly saying, certainly all problems of life are solved very easily, yes. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, you simply take the name of Chaitanya, everything is solved. He says, those who don't take the name of Chaitanya, easy things become difficult. And those who take the name of Lord Chaitanya, even most difficult things become easy. So we simply have to fall at their lotus feet. That's all we need to do. Falling at lotus feet means simply following instructions. That's all, nothing else. In all these things, no. What we do is we don't, I've surrendered to Guru, I've surrendered to Lord. Okay, what does surrender mean? I chant his pranam mantra or I do puja. No, surrender means following instructions, full stop. That's all. If you're not following instructions, we're not surrendered. Shishyaste ham shadimam tvam prapannam. Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me. Shishyaste ham shadimam tvam prapannam. Krishna, Arjuna is telling Krishna, I have become your Shishya. Please instruct me. I've surrendered to you. So, Shishya means instruction. Shishya means Shist, Shas Dhatu, discipline. When Prabhupada talks about all these, please hear Prabhupada's lectures. We've got this new device called Vaikunthavani, which has all the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, 4,000 lectures, conversations, etc. It's like a small transistor. Very portable, can be taken anywhere. All you need is just headphones, and wherever you are, whether you're cooking, whether you're in the auto going somewhere or in the car going somewhere, whatever, you can just keep hearing Prabhupada Vani. And Prabhupada, these were like early days of my Krishna consciousness, when I used to, heavily used to hear Prabhupada, read Prabhupada's books. And all these things Prabhupada has repeatedly talked about. Repeatedly. So I just can't forget, because what went into my head was only that, because I never heard anybody else. I never heard I just read Prabhupada, heard Prabhupada. That's all. And Prabhupada repeatedly hammers these concepts, these things again and again and again and again. So it goes and just sits deep in the head. So we have to surrender. Means we have to follow instruction. Okay, I'm going to stop here. If anybody has any questions, comments, we can discuss. Yeah, and following instructions again means without having our independence. We can't have independence. Some devotees say, no, no, I like this service, so I will only do this. But if Guru is saying, don't do this, do something else, we should be ready to just drop it. This is surrender. Because what Krishna is saying is not your so-called attachment to certain service or some, he is seeing your surrender to Guru. Because all our attachment right now is very, very initial stage. We can't call this bhava. It's a very, very initial stage we are in. Real bhava before prema will develop by our surrender to Guru, surrendering to the instructions of Guru. And I keep telling devotees saying that don't become attached to anything in devotion beyond your Guru's instruction. Because our so-called attachment right now will all be sentimental. Half of it will be sentimental. Other half might be real. But the real sentiment, real bhava will come only when we take this path of Sharanagati. And of course, I mean, some of us will be fortunate that what the Guru is saying and what our propensities are might match, or what we like might match. It doesn't mean that if Guru is instructing something else, we say, no, 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 Guru Maharaj, actually, I can't do this. Means we are still retaining independent free will. Of course, no Guru will say, don't do this, because they are also very concerned about disciples doing Guru Ravagya, not following the instructions of Guru. So they will say, you may try to do this. Or they will just say, you please talk to some other senior devotees. But that actually means that I know you also know what the answer is, or what you should do, what you should not do, but you're just not surrendered enough. So I can't tell you do this, because then you will not do it, and it will anyway result in prevent you from making spiritual progress. So then gurus will say, okay, no, no, you talk to these devotees, you talk to. So what is their expectation? That somebody else will tell the same thing that the guru wants to say, which will not then become Guru Ravagya. But then the disciple or the devotee might be willing to follow that or not follow that, whatever. Then it's up to that person. So they are also so concerned, because we are so independent willed that we will come to Guru with our own agenda, with our own plans, without even half of us. I know initially I used to do this. I used to go in front of my Guru Maharaj and I used to just keep talking, whatever this happened, that is. Then I realized saying that I need to shut up in front of the Guru. I need to let Guru Maharaj speak. We can't be speaking. We are there to hear. These things we have to learn. These are all surrender. These are all indications of surrender. And if some instructions comes from Guru, become very, very sober and deeply absorb that, hear that completely, whole thing, whatever has been spoken, without starting to think. Stop your thinking power at that point of time and just try to understand or absorb what is being told. Because half of the time when somebody says something on the material platform, we want to react. But that's not how we do with Guru. Because it's Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasada. So whatever is coming from his lotus mouth is coming from Krishna. So we will have to become very sober to completely absorb what is being told. And then we go back and contemplate, deliberate consideration, like Dhruva did. Oh, what is this? What did I hear? We can even sometimes say, Guru Maharaj, can I please record your saying, because I'm very dull-headed. I will go back and again rehear your instruction. And then we can hear and then contemplate, talk to others, and then with firm determination, pick up the service, pick up the instruction. Not with firm determination, say, now, okay, I put enough intelligence to counter this instruction. I'll go now fully prepared in front of Guru Maharaj to refute. How, like Arjuna did initially, right? He says, I gave hundreds of reasons why you should not fight. That's not Sharanagati. Of course, intelligence can be used to question, okay, what about if this is done? Is that also okay? Is that also considered okay, acceptable? We can absolutely take guidance. We can take deeper, detailed instructions. So deliberate consideration. So surrender means deliberate hearing, Shravanam, deliberate consideration. We use intelligence, fixed determination, go and do, follow instructions. This is required. Yeah. Okay. Anything, anybody? Yeah, Shashank.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Kind of Prabhu.
Pranam.
Prabhu, this question is with respect to mere lamenting, Prabhu. So
Yeah.
sometimes, even though we'll be strict, Prabhu, we won't lament. Sometimes unknowingly we will fall into that, Prabhu. So
Yeah, that's
how
okay.
to mitigate?
That's okay. That'll
how
all
to-
go in course of time. See, all we have to do, first thing about spiritual progress is recognition of our gaps or weaknesses. So when we do Shravanam, when we hear from Prabhupada's books, we know, okay, I should not lament. Now, next time we lament, then automatically we should remember this instruction. No, na sochati na kankshati. I should not lament. When we become conscious, this is Krishna conscious. Then every time this kind of a situation happens, we will keep remembering. 10 times we will lament, the amount of lamentation will go on decreasing. 12th time we will not lament at all. That's all. And that might take somebody 1 year, that might take somebody 10 years, that might take somebody 20 years. That's okay. As long as there is consistent effort, we should not worry about the timeline, because that depends on our previous conditioning, so many things, right? But the important thing is that repeated, sincere attempt.
Okay, Prabhu.
That is called sadhana bhakti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya yocha. Jai.